Because the truth of the matter, it was God playing to show y'all the liar.
Hi, I'm Carcina.
Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Carcino and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them. Oh, yeah. Now, let's take a look into this, because this is getting crazy now. The closer we come to Ken and Friends by Kendrick Lamar, his event he's having at the Forum. Now, this was the hottest ticket in town. It sold out in minutes, and people was trying to get tickets, find tickets that's not even available, not even a question of this being available to anyone around the globe. You're going to have to watch it on streaming. Now, Lucian Grainge, who's been caught up in lawsuits with Diddy, has been having a heck of a time trying to find a way to navigate what's actually been transpiring here. He's been going through it. And because he's been going through it, everybody around him is feeling the crunch. It's like a whole economic collapse that went on, and everybody around is feeling the heat from it. There's been a titanic shift. A titanic. Like, this shift is going on, and it is crazy. And it is beyond something anyone else could have ever foreseen happening. Now, here's the growing problem. The Weeknd is an artist that was scheduled to perform allegedly as one of the surprise friends for Kendrick Lamar at his event, Ken and Friends. Due to this beef with Drake and the fact that Kendrick may go out there and reignite the beef, which Lucian Grainge does not want to happen. He does not want to see this continue. Drake's popularity has suffered, and they're afraid to even put out his new album because if you put out this new album, it's damning to Kendrick Lamar, it's damning to his brand, it's damning to everything that he holds dear. Kendrick Lamar, well, it's not going to hurt Kendrick Lamar, it's going to hurt Drake. Drake is who he's tied to the most, him and The Weeknd. Now, The Weeknd has a great working relationship with Kendrick Lamar. They're both artists who seem to get it and understand. No, he's not going to show up at Kendrick Lamar's show. Drake would not do that. Don't expect to see Drake at Kendrick Lamar's show. No, I don't think these events that's happened are something that is by accident. Like, normally people, there's a generational divide, as you saw with Method Man and Redman performing at Summer Jam. You know, most of their songs are from 20 years ago. And when they go out on stage and perform together and people don't, recognize it or give it the attention, Meth is more known now as the lawyer on Power. Like, if it wasn't for that, most of the younger people wouldn't understand him or wouldn't gravitate to him. Drake has found a way to exist a lot longer than people would even, be able to fathom. His existence in this, oh, it's went way beyond the marker. Now, what they have to really do is reel this back in because, it was slated he was going to do Pray For Me from the Black Panther soundtrack with Kendrick. Well, Drake took down all his diss songs off of the Instagram, trying to say, like, I'm through with it. I don't want to keep this going, blah, 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 blah. He wants to move on with his career. For Kendrick, this beef has put him at the top of the pedestal. Now, when you're at the top of the food chain and you're at the top of the game now, and you're back to being that artist, the most sought after artist in the game, you now have to find a way to pivot. If you're Kendrick Lamar, and be Kendrick Lamar. See, when Nas did Ether, now everybody's expecting him to make these type of records, like going after people. And like, I didn't know Nas had it in him. Now this is what they want to hear from Nas more. And when he comes back with a album that's personal and more introspective, and he got out of that lane, people start to resent him for it. And like, oh, I don't even like this. He's changed. When it's like, no, he just got out of that lane of just, I'm finna make these type of records. So the public decides what is hot and what isn't hot. So Lucian doesn't want the Weeknd to perform with Kendrick Lamar because he knows the Weeknd and Drake has an issue. That's why he signed them individually, and they both signed to the same record label. They both are signed to a 360 deal with Lucian Grainge for hundreds of millions of dollars. And the Weeknd's is flourishing, while Drake's is not. Drake popularity is down 16%. Even a month later after the beef, his popularity is still down 16%. Now, Lucian Grainge just watched Will Smith come back, and it took 2 years after he just slapped someone at the Oscars. Drake didn't slap anybody. But in hip hop, they know one incident and it could be a lifetime of you trying to get back to the top. Meanwhile, they vested all this money into Drake. So 15% doesn't sound like a lot, but when you start talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, 15% is a lot. And what Drake can't afford to do is put out an album that flops. So they're banking this off the attention span of the actual consumer. The actual consumer's attention span is not very great. Because of streaming and music, people don't really care. They move on after a couple of weeks and they go on to the next thing. What's the next big thing? That's what we need to do. That's how their brains move and function. So once they come to that realization that, okay, this is what we need to do, this is how we need to function and moving forward, then there is no other decisions that need to be made. This is the goal. This is the course we're on. When people see things go off track, this is the attitude they take to the battle. Now, Kendrick Lamar hasn't done anything wrong. He's just sat there. He's trying to put up his show, seeing who's going to come, who's not coming, and he's getting ready to give a performance of legend. Now, Kendrick Lamar is not signed with Lucian Grainge. They distribute PG Lang. So they can't really control what Kendrick does because they're making money hand over fist. Now, throughout the battle, they made money off of push-ups, Family Matters, and those two songs considerably. But when the Hard Part 6 came out by Drake, it did a lot of numbers initially, but it was not the kind of numbers you want to see because it was met with the most dislikes Drake has ever had for a record. And when you put that out and it's doing numbers because people want to hear it, it's a diss track on Kendrick, they're going to review it. So initially, the numbers were great. Then there was an epic fall off of the record completely. Why Not Like Us thrived to #1 on the charts. To the Hard Part 6 was just completely off the charts. And not only that, the more that song was played, the more it hurt Drake's brand. Drake had never put out music that people thought was just awful. Like the whole consensus of it was dislike and disdain. That was hurting to the brand. And that's hurting the pocketbooks of these people who basically saying we're going to pay you this amount of money because we think you're worth at least double this in our earnings. We're going to pay you 400 million so that we can make $1 billion. That's how it works. And what they're getting for their projects, what they're getting back in return now, has been tainted. This battle did not elevate the both of them to a higher plateau. It's done the opposite. It highlighted Kendrick Lamar to a whole different plane than he ever was before. Meanwhile, everyone else they're knocked on their backs. Kendrick Lamar is the hottest thing in the music business right now. The Weeknd never fell off. Party just put out an album that didn't do diddly squat. And some people who checked out the album said the album is great. Like, they was like, man, Party put out a outstanding album. I was like, really? They was like, yeah, man, that's a good album. You should check it out. But Kendrick owns the night. No, Maul's not going to be at Kendrick's show. And neither is Academic. Academics is such a clout chasing just hack. He's trying to just copy anything Maul does. Because Maul said he was going to be there. Now Academics is trying to say he's going to be there. It's just neither one. A dude in the basement and a guy that was sleeping on Joe Budden's couch. All right. Drake's still the highest streamed artist this month. No, that's the inflation of numbers. You see, you got to understand, nobody's streaming Drake like that. Listen, that's called Hollywood. Okay? The people have decided. They have a lot of songs that Drake is going to use to trend. See, what they're saying is, as long as Drake makes this trendy music of what they think the culture is, because this really is a battle of what the culture really is about. Kendrick Lamar is about real Black culture, what we really truly come from. Drake is basically running off a gimmick of what they want Black culture to be, what Lucian Grainge think Black culture stands for. So this disconnect of what the Black culture is not what you might think it is. So this is what the culture is feeling. Like when he spoke about the women he dated. Notice I said we. It's not just me. I'm what the culture is feeling. The women you date confuse themselves with real women. Now, the problem with that is what's real culture and what they think Black culture is. Real Black culture is about education, knowledge, love. You see, that's a whole different reality from what they think the culture is. They think the culture is on game, promoting drugs, crime. That's what they think being real is. Our being real is taking care of your family and your kids, educating them, showing them and teaching them how to survive in the hells of the Western region. They don't have that. They have that disconnect on what Black culture really is because they've implanted this culture into us. Forced this culture upon us where they mock God instead of praising him. On God, son, on God, man, I swear on God. On game. They promote drugs. Promoting prescription drugs as cool has never been anything. Yeah, they all on demon time. That's not our culture. Never has been our culture. We don't come from that. There's never been a more loving race, a more forgiving people than us. They know that. Why do you think, if they think you were so inferior, if they felt that you were not worthy or you were trash and filth, Why would they let you in their homes to clean their homes? Why would they let you in their homes to watch their children? Why would you think that is? Cook their foods? And we're going back to the 20s, the 30s, the 40s. We raised half of these people. Skip Bayless, that you see on Undisputed, was raised by a black woman. He didn't feel a connect to his mother. He felt connect to the black woman that was raising him in his house. Drake did not give Kendrick a look because it was best for Drake. Why do you think Drake attached himself to all these social media people who have a lot of? It's not just him in academics. He went on Casanat. There's another couple of white guys on there that's popular on YouTube. Drake goes over there and try to connect with them because it affects his streams. He wants those streaming numbers up. That's the goal. Once you can't help Drake anymore. You're a liability. What are you to Drake? What are you to Drizzy Drake? Nothing. You absolutely nothing to him, but a means to an end. Drake is not, he's bringing you on tour because he needs that West Coast sound. He's trying to find something he could take from you. Haven't y'all figured that out by now? Why do you think him and Kodak had a problem and that album never came out? Drake sent him beats so that he was like, Drake want me to put a hook to this beat. Drake was sending Kodak black beats so that he could hear how Kodak was going to go and approach the beats and put the hook to it. He was like, man, I'm having a hard time trying to make a hook to this beat. So he in there playing Drake beats like on a live stream. Drake paid that man in Bitcoin. He gave him 6.6 Bitcoins. And they were worth 32,000 a Bitcoin at the time. Then that went up to like 40 some thousand a Bitcoin. So he made like 300,000 just off Bitcoin. So Drake was giving him that because Kodak was like, look, man, you tripping. Then Drake was sitting there mad at Kodak and then dissing him in a song about him getting shot in the leg. You know, and the people that supposedly did it was at his fashion week out there in Paris. Right? And Drake wanted to take shots at him. But as you've been seeing over this past weekend, you've been noticing a trend. And the trend you've been noticing has been very, very loud. Drake's been getting exposed more and more for the you know the work he's done that people have thought it was coming directly from him, and you see it's coming from a collaboration of other people, and the conscious world is not ready to accept it, especially Mob Ties. Especially Mob Ties. Kendrick is doing real artistry, while Drake is not. He's like in. Well, here's the thing: Drake is doing real artistry, and to a well, he's not doing real artistry. What he's doing is doing a same songy, catchy thing that he's equated himself to. He went down this lane of trap music. And now instead of doing the artistry work he used to do, Drake was the guy who was being turned down by women, the hopeless romantic guy. He went into that role, the underdog trying to win, to this tough guy because I'm in the industry now and I'm tough and I'll put money on your head and have you whacked. It's like that turned people back who loved Drake back when he was selling millions and millions of records. Now you're turning into the whole new genre, like to stay relevant and not be decadent and respected in this business. I got to get tough. I got to get braids. It's like, what are you doing? I got to get stupid, dumbass tats all over my body. Yeah, put Aaliyah right there. I heard her record last week. Yeah, it was nice. So now it looks fake. The Mob Ties reference track really hurt his brand. That got his album pushed back. His album was supposed to come out 2 days before. Like it was not 2 days, but on the same day as Kendrick, they wanted to surprise drop their album. Drake was like, okay, if y'all say he won the rap battle, let's see who wins the battle of record sales, who's the number one rapper in the game. So he was going to try to crush him with record sales. And I'm going to sell out. My records is going to hit. Yours are going to flop. But I don't know why he speaks as if Kendrick Lamar is not a commercial success. Kendrick Lamar has always been a commercial success. You've had about 2 features with Jay-Z, and none of them had the impact as the remix of Swimming Pools when that came on the scene and what that did. Drake make 20 and 30 songs a year, and he does 5 and 6 every 5 years. Of course, you're going to need help. Drake wrote for Wayne. That reference is out. Of course, Drake wrote for Wayne. That's why they're the ones that leaked that. Lil Wayne brought him on and said, yeah, Drake knows how to write those songs. I've told you that for years, that he's helped Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne had a ghostwriter his entire career. BG, Turk, all these guys was writing for him. Wayne was writing for himself, but they were the ones writing his style. When Gilly the Kid said, hey, man, I was writing for you. Would you think that was a joke? That's how Wayne changed his whole style. He went from wobbity, 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 wobbity. Drop it like it's hot. After you back it up and stop, say why, drop it like a hot. I'm a fireball, you know me, them trees ball. I'm a 17's a Bible ball, a chopper's ball. I got things that go block a ball. Now, New Orleans style, they always say Wody. Then he went from Wody to holla at your boy. Now, when you start saying holla at your boy, when you start rapping more East Coast, more Philly. Now, Wayne can rap. Wayne is a freestyle artist. See, that's the thing about it. Wayne is a freestyler. His thing comes naturally off freestyle. His pen is nasty. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. Wayne's pen is nasty when it comes to that. But he can't make a song like because I'm single. He can't make that record. That's a Drake record. I told you he wrote She Will. That's Drake's song. Do it for the realest one in the game right now. She will. Yeah. That was a Drake record that he gave to Lil Wayne. I told y'all that. Oh man, I've discovered some stuff about Drake that, man, it's on the Patreon right now. Man, we going through that dude's company financials and who his ties really are, the real mob ties. Buddy boy, I'm just at the surface of it, and it is crazy right now. We talking Illuminati level type stuff. For real, like non-theory, it's factual. They contracted this crap through businesses and funneling money through it. Drake is on the paperwork. These are all the children of Wayne, or the grandchildren of Wayne, because they're running around all dressing. They don't know who came up with all this style and made it popular. It was Lil Wayne, this rock, punk, rap crap. He did Prom Queen. He got a guitar around his neck, wearing pink crap, nails done. It's like, what happened? Yeah, he helped Drake. I mean, he helped Wayne with some songs, some commercial hit songs. But Wayne was a freestyler. Like all his freestyles was crazy. Drake owns a percent of Gamma. Watch J Buzz's interview. Yeah, I'm quite sure he has profits, profit sharing, profits, earnings and splits. But those numbers are based off a consensus of, like, Drake has a whole lot of shell companies, and the reason why is to hide money. You don't want all your money going into one company, because if it does, then that makes you vulnerable to attacks, lawsuits, and everything else. So it's going to be difficult for you to sue and get the monies you want. Plus, it puts you in a different tax bracket. It's keeping your portfolio diversified. So, yeah, Yolanda. Yeah, so Lucian is looking at it as a lose-lose, because he signed him to the same type of deal Drake got, where the Weeknd's got a deal for hundreds of millions. Drake is in a whole different boat, but they both are signed to Republic, so it's different. Kendrick has PG Lang, which is his. So now his distribution is through Universal, which means they're going to market the way they want. But Kendrick has always been a commercial success. While everyone said he's been gone for all these years, he's been gone for 5 years while he was playing rock, paper, scissors in court, trying to get out of this contract that he had. He wasn't allowed to really put out music. So it wasn't like he was sitting around. So when he did Mr. Morale album, that was like more therapeutic. So now, since the Mr. Morale album was out and he was working on his next project, because he was actually on tour. He was on tour with Taylor Swift. They were doing the songs. People forgot he was on the Bad Blood remix. Like that was Kendrick Lamar in the song Bad Blood. Drake has signed a Republic, which has a 360 deal with Lucian Grainge, just like he has with The Weeknd. So that's why Drake is doing 2 back-to-back tours off the album. So he's doing songs so he could tour and get his money. But Drake has gambling problems, drinking problems. And when you have these vices where you're just going off drinking, young women problems, and when you're going off on these binges and all these acts you've done with these young girls that you keep putting yourself in these situations, you are putting yourself in the scope. Your actions and things that's been done, like, this is not just being said by Kendrick. This is what's actually happened. Kendrick Lamar just put out a song that saved children. You got little kids going like, stay back, get away from me. You got a weird case. Why are you around? Certified lover boy, certified pedophile. Wah. These kids are now like empowered. The song has empowered them to stand up to someone attacking them. Now the kids understand that this is weirdo behavior. It ain't cool. So instead of being confused about it, they be like, aren't you tired? You trying to strike a chord in, it's probably a minor. Right. Stranger danger. They not like us. Now they got a theme song. And it's empowering them. Right. All these kids are trying to trend on TikTok now. They're at a party, they're getting turned up. Parents don't even like to hear this type of record, and they can't believe it when they're listening to the lyrics. And the parents are just letting them do whatever they want. So the whole industry is being exposed for the weirdo behavior. Meet the Grams is way more damning than what people know. There's lines in there that people don't seem to understand and get. That was very damning. Oh yeah, Meet the Grams is definitely a it's not one that's probably going to trend on social media. Like, I mean, as far as getting a lot of playbacks and spins on streaming service, because it's not something you're gonna ride in the car and really listen to. I do. I listen to Meet the Grams a lot because it's a tone shift. You see, you've been going out with at Drake with all these records that's thumping and on his level and going at him with these battle like records, high energy records, and then you change the tone on 'em and bring you into this story time mode. And the beat is harrowing with the piano. Dun, 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 dun. So what it does is it absorbs you in. If you listen to everybody who was turned up when Family Matters came out, they were, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. But when that song came, they zoomed in to the lyrics to pay attention to what was being said. That's called a tune shift or tone shift. Kendrick changed the tone. This shows you a variation of styles in the way you communicate with the people in a show of artistry. At the same time, he showed Drake, you're not the artist you think you are. You're one dimensional. Well, he exposed a lot in that song. It was very, very damning. When he blamed Dennis, and then you see Dennis on social media grinding up on this white girl while telling her Drake might show up to a party at his house. They go to his house thinking they meeting Drake, and it's just him grinding all up on these girls. Come on, dance with old Dennis. Looking all sick and ridiculous. It just looked bad, real bad for old Dennis. What'd he tell him? I blamed you for his gambling addiction, psychopath intuitions, the man that likes to play victim. You raised a horrible effing person. The nerve of you, Dennis. Sandra, sit down. What I'm about to say is heavy. Now listen. Your son is a sick man with sick thoughts. I think people like him should die. Him and Weinstein should get effed up in a cell for the rest of their life. He hates black women, hypersexualizes them with the kinds of a nympho fetish. Grew facial hair because he knew a beard just fit him better. Do you see how powerful that is? A beard would just fit him better. Now, what was he talking about? All right. He's talking about the case that Drake settled for 500,000. Drake settled a case for 500,000 out of court. We've already went over that. And the black woman he settled with, Drake tried to play victim in the case and made it look like he was the one being, even though he was in negotiations with the girl to settle the lawsuit. Why is he trying to settle out of court with this woman when she actually was telling people what actually happened? Now she can't talk about it anymore, but she had already spoke about what had happened. And then they had to go and settle again because Drake had an album coming out and they didn't want this, getting more attention. They needed this to go away. And this is where he said your weird nympho fetish. When she said you making her spit in a cup and then you take it and smear it all over her face. Said, I want you messy. She felt like was a fan of yours to disgusted and humiliated. Unbelievable. Yeah, he told them in this whole verse, he told you guys everything that was going on in this industry. He told you got these offenders on OVO that you keep on a monthly allowance. A child should never be compromised and keep seeing another child around him. And we got to raise our daughters knowing that these predators like him lurking. F a rap battle, he should die so all these women can live with a purpose. What did he say? What did he say? Something like, I've been in the industry for 12 years and I'm going to tell y'all one little secret. It's some weird ish going on. And some of the artists are here to police it. They be streaming victims all inside of their homes, calling them tenders, then leaking videos of themselves to further push their agendas. Listen to that. That line alone tells you everything you need to know. They're streaming victims inside of their homes, calling them tender. Then leak videos of themselves to further push that agenda. Mm-hmm. Now, most people who aren't conscious are going to find a way to defend Drake and say, well, Drake isn't this and Drake isn't that. Because the Weeknd did not sign to Drake and decided to go out on his own and sign for him instead of giving all his hits away to Drake for pennies on a dollar and go out like that Mashonen guy who the club was blowing up on a Tuesday and sign away your entire life and catalog to Drake. The Weeknd decided, no, I'm going to go out and get my own deal and bet on myself. I don't need Drake to be successful. And because he did that and didn't sign his life away to Drake, and Drake can eat off him, he's a little upset about that. Somebody said there's a bias and fake narrative. What is the bias? I'm curious to know, what is the bias and fake narrative? Please elaborate. You have the chat. Go ahead. Elaborate. You said this is a fake narrative. Well, what's fake about it? I'd rather be awake than woke. Mm-hmm. Kendrick's just better at what he does. He's a better performer, better artist, everything. Now, I'm not somebody who really was into the damn album. I didn't think it was better than How to Pimp a Butterfly, but there's some people out there that believe it is. Mad City, um, that's a classic. Section 8 was just Kendrick in Freeform, but still, wow, if you can't name 5 Kendrick hits, then I don't know what planet you from. Damn, it's his second best album. Like Kendrick says, I got classics. You don't have one. Let your core audience stomach that. Then tell them where you get your abs from. Wow. This is a classic. You don't have one. Damn, that is hitting. Because then it made people think, do Drake have a classic album? You have to go back to maybe Take Care or one of those. Feet 12, it's a fast one. Boom, 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 last one. Headshots to the hip. You better walk around like Daft Punk. His delivery is crazy. It is so insane the way he can change octaves and go into different styles. He said, I just named 5 for you, Drake guzzlers. He said, I just named 5 for you, Drake guzzlers. The Backseat Freestyle is actually Taylor Swift's favorite Drake song. And those 5 songs would probably never get mentioned. Probably 2 of those would get mentioned as far as hit records. Like Poetic Justice, I can't believe I hate that song. I hate that record. And I think Drake had a better verse on Poetic Justice. I hate that record. I would pick King Kunta as one of my favorite Kendrick Lamar songs. I love King Kunta. Swimming pools. Shoot, my God. Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe with the Jay-Z remix on there, and he just annihilated Jay-Z on that song. That is the reason why Jay-Z won't work with him again. Yeah, this is like his personal vibe. Poetic Justice was not. I guess it went number one with the fans, but it's just not me. But Swimming Pools definitely got to be on there. Swimming Pools, Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. It's like of course, DNA is on there. And where is We Gonna Be All Right? That's not on there. Are you kidding me? We Gonna Be All Right? Loyalty with Rihanna. Oh my goodness, dude. Y'all must forget that Kendrick was beating Drake. He was number one in the game. Drake wasn't at that level. He had surpassed Drake. Drake was out there doing songs, but he wasn't at Kendrick's level. Drake was upset. Kendrick was winning all these Grammys. Oh, all the stars, The King is Dead, the whole Black Panther soundtrack was him orchestrating that. All the Stars is my song. That's on my playlist on Apple. My Kendrick One playlist. But that's why the Weeknd and was supposed to come out there to Cannon Friends, and he was gonna do Pray for Me. And Lucian doesn't want this to happen because if this is a concert that's going to be a F Drake concert, he's definitely not going to want the Weeknd involved. And the Black Panther soundtrack was beating More Life. Drake congratulated Kendrick Lamar for passing him and outselling More Life. What was that? Then he had the Damn album beat Drake album. So what is you talking about? What you talking about? Drake really went to the top of the charts once Kendrick was gone. Drake even rapped about that. Like, I got the spot now. I got to stop. I got the top spot. Now you're hot now. So he knew for the 5 years Kendrick was gone, Drake is like, I got the spot now. You had it for a while, and now it's gone. It's mine now. Charles Lee, I understand you've been in a coma, but it's okay. he when? Who? Where? These are all lies. Lies, I tell you, lies. You go look up More Life or whatever album was out when Damn was out. And you tell me who won. Prove it. You didn't see Drake congratulate Kendrick Lamar? You know what the Drake fan said? That's not a real Drake album, man. It's like a compilation thing he just put together, man. It's like a mixtape almost. That's not a real Drake album, man. He didn't lose. Now y'all try to act like it didn't even exist. When? Where? It never happened. You see? When you go against people's own perceptions of reality, none of that even really matters. What matters is that you have a man who's not even from the culture, Lucian Grainge, in charge of distributing these records and trying to dictate who does what, who goes where, who can say what where. So now you put yourself in the position of master, trying to tell and dictate what artists can do and what they can't do. Your job is to just distribute the damn music and cut the checks. That was your only job. And you're not even doing that right. Yeah, I like the Scorpion album. The first side, second side, not for me. It's probably like one song on there, or maybe two, that's listenable to me. But that side one, woo! The reference tracks on that gotta be a monster. I mean, it's bad because you can't win a battle against a guy you don't know anything about. Drake is not built like that. He doesn't know how to beat a guy like Kendrick. He doesn't know how to attack him. So he keeps trying this fiance angle, and that she's in a relationship with his best friend and all this stuff. All right, you trying to snake him for his girl, his ex-girlfriend. You just do all this slime ball activity that don't, like in real life, you would be hurt. Like you would be seriously hurt for doing stuff like that. Like people take these kind of things seriously. You try to mess with somebody's girl in the real world, they take you out for that. They don't play. So it's like everybody has a difference when it comes to how they gonna approach something, and they riding a wave. Well, you gotta realize that when people look at Drake now, can he go back to doing the songs he used to do? Hmm? Can Kendrick go back to doing his artistry music without, unless y'all gonna be looking for him to diss Drake in every record? That's where the new level is for Kendrick. Kendrick don't have any problems in creating new music and difference and making an album and not making it about Drake. He could easily do that. And he may have little drops in there about Drake every now and then. People are gonna overanalyze everything that he does. Now, I'm trying to think. According to the battle consensus, the only victory he had was against Meek Mill, right? That's the only thing that was out there. Well, no, no, y'all just losing it. Well, Kendrick has what, four? He had four songs done. So let me see. He had two more. Drake couldn't get anybody. Nobody in Kendrick's camp was going to cross Kendrick. And if they did, they were not going to cross Kendrick for Drake. That just was not going to work. You see, Drake is suffering from what we call the identity crisis. Now, something happened. We all used to, that's what they was like, Cino, you was the biggest Drake fan. You was a big Drake stan, man. Anything Drake did, you was cool with. That's cool. Drake changed. He started hanging around with all these different people, and he changed from what he used to be. He was doing Saturday Night Live. He was, nothing was the same. Tuscan leather guy. He was on red carpets doing interviews, and he was all about music. He was the geeky kid who was come up from Degrassi, who was making music about women and just hoping that these girls love him back, and just doing his rapidy rap thing. And he went after 2016, and after the fame of Back to Back and doing all of that, and he stole Hotline Bling, and then he started to going down this whole trope. He started getting Grammys, he started getting awards. He got Dennis out here in these 1970 pimp suits. Now, all of this was going viral. Then, he just came out and couldn't lose. Drake couldn't do anything wrong. Then now he's changed to this trap god with the braids and this beard, this tough guy, and it just turned a lot of fans of his music off because the music don't sound like him. It don't sound like it's coming from him at all. It sounds like he's rapping someone else's life, and it's not authentic. It's like, dude, you come from Degrassi. Now you talking about putting 50K bags on people's heads, give 20 to the thoughts. And it's like, what are you talking about, man? Like, when have you become this guy? It's like he said, your daddy's a killer, you want to be Junior. So it's like he want to be like the guys from Houston, Texas. He want to be like the dudes from Atlanta. You want to be Slime. You want to be Thugger. You want to be all of these guys. And the problem that's hurting Drake is the problem of public perception. Because everything Kendrick say, you can see it and find it on Google. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it everywhere. We got visual aid to almost everything he's saying to you. Everything he's saying, we got visual aids to. Boom, there it is. 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 So if we got all of this, we have no evidence of nothing we can pull up that you're talking about, sir. Nothing. But we're supposed to believe you because you're Drake. Yes, Drake dad is from Memphis. Drake got cousins in Memphis that he used to see when he was like 5. He came down there when his dad used to take him down there, and he was like, "I don't like coming there no more. Now they just want to take a bunch of pictures with me." Of course, you're their famous nephew or famous cousin, so yes, they would want to take some pictures with you. But now you want to take pictures with them and use them to appropriate yourself with "I'm from the hood." Well, when you start thinking about the consensus and what is the perception of the people, Kendrick has the people. Drake was supposed to have the people, right? No matter if he lost, like y'all said, Pusha T won, right? Drake got the people. Drake never lost the people in that whole battle. They was riding with Drake, even though y'all said he lost. He lost to Pusha T. The consensus is Drake won. He didn't lose anything. Not one thing. He was still on top. This is different. He didn't just lose, he lost almost everything. That's key. Because when you don't identify yourself, yeah, well, when you don't identify yourself with what's actually taking place in the world and you just, stuck in your own way, these are the results. Hmm. That's why he went and recorded the last verse. That's why he that's why he yeah, Kendrick had already had Not Like Us done. When he did Euphoria, Not Like Us was done during that time. It had 3 verses. He had these songs already prepared. Not Like Us was the anthem song. And he was going to save that to the end. But when he dropped Family Matters, right, he came with Meet the Grams. That gave him the okay to drop Meet the Grams. Meet the Grams was recorded in case Drake went there. If Drake goes there, mention his family's name and mention them, he's dropping that record. And he did it as soon as he did it. Meet the Grams came out. Now, Not Like Us is already done. He goes back and adds one more verse to Not Like Us. Oh yeah. That last verse was added after Family was it Family Matters, right? When Drake put that out. When he said, "Once upon a time, all of us was in chains. Homie still dumbing down, calling us some slaves." He's responding to the Family Matters song. So now it'll sound current because it won't sound like he had already pre-recorded that because of the last verse. Atlanta was the Mecca building railroads and trains. Bear with me for a second while I put y'all on game. All this is real. The settlers was using town folks to make them richer. Fast forward to 2024, you got the same agenda. You ran to Atlanta when you need a check balance. Let me break it down for y'all. This the real nigga challenge. You call Future when you didn't see the club. Ask Little Baby to help you get your lingo up. 21 gave you false street cred. Thug made you feel like you were slime in your head. Quavo said you could be from Northside. Two Chisel said you good, but he lied. You run to Atlanta when you need a few dollars. No, you're not a colleague. You're a effing colonizer. The Family Matters, and the truth of the matter, it was God plans to show y'all the liar. Unbelievable. That verse was added to the song after Family Matters came out by Drake. Who is this? Hold on. Okay. All right. Ankh surgery was a success. All right. No. No, the last verse was cool because it kind of went away from what the theme of the record was. The record had a bop to it, but the last verse don't really go along with the rest of the record. If you listen to the record again, listen to Not Like Us, and you'll see it got a bop to it. Well, it's a lot going on. Like we put it on the Patreon. Like Drake financials is crazy. His ties to like real Illuminati that's real. Like I was shocked. I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he talk tough. that's how a lot of people feel. They like the old Drake. They don't like this Drake now. This drill Drake. Now, Put My Money in the Grave is like I love that song. I don't like Rick Ross on it, but the X Ross out, and that's that. The smartest business decision J. Cole ever made was getting the hell out of the way. Because if anybody believes Drake won this battle, no, it wasn't even close. But I'm glad y'all feel that way, but it wasn't even close. Yeah, you can vote for Nick. Oh yeah, when they
Debo, any rap nigga, he a free throw. Man down, call like Amber Lambs, tell him breathe, bro. Nella nigga.
so when that started hitting, it was done. Completely done. So Lucian Grainge could be upset all he wants, you know. I don't think that's the case. Mm-mm-mm. Oh yeah, true to form. But yo, I'm gonna get up out of here, And to all you Drake fans who can't see that there's a titanic shift that then took place and it's over, and this Lucian Grainge guy is out here trying to paint the narratives. You push Drake album back because of this whole ghostwriting thing. Want to give it some more time to let Kendrick momentum die down. So Drake thought he was coming out this summer, and you better hope Kendrick's wave don't really make it and push it back even further. Drake gonna be releasing in August sometime. Oh yeah, on the Patreon we got Rihanna versus Jay-Z and Rock Nation, and what's really going on over there. We got some surprising news about LeBron on the Patreon. Drake already, he already apologized for his cringy performances that he did on stage. But notice, everybody's getting quiet on the Diddy front. Now they talking about some Tupac case, which is totally stupid. Yep. So I'm up out of here. Shouts out to Kwame Brown, Bust Life. Welcome to HDII TV, Jag Sports with Jose Rodriguez, Ticket TV, Armando Black TV, The Star Report. Shouts out to Star, and I'm out the door. Peace.